Alright, testing. Okay, cool. Looks like I'm making sound. Now I'm gonna make a weird loop feedback thing as I test on my phone that the sound's actually working. Test. Come on, phone. Phone. I'm relying on my phone to prove that the sound is coming through, because sometimes I don't trust my computer when it says it is. Test. Phone, why are you going so slow? I just want to make sure it's working. I guess I can just trust my computer, because so far it's been trustworthy. I just like that extra reassurance from the phone. Alright, let's go. It's making me a little wary though. Alright, let's see. We'll go to the main. Is it working? Ooh, so close. Cool. Well, I wish my phone could reassure me that it's working, but at least when I did like a little test earlier, I got the sound balance a lot better than last time. So last time, my computer, again, over trusting my computer a little bit here, my computer claimed that my voice was the same decibel level as the desktop audio, which technically it was, but I didn't factor in that the sound filter and the mic cover make my voice sound a lot softer than it really is. So, wasn't quite the sound balance I was looking for last time, so I think I fixed it this time around. Computer. Oh, there we go. Oh, now my phone works. Alright, everything's working now. Cool. Okay. Just a couple more things I gotta do to get it ready to go. Here we go, the game. Okay, cool. Oh my god, why? Just shifted. Okay, I do want to share that the last few streams I've done, I have sat. And when I listened back to the recordings, I could hear that I was sitting. And I just felt like in my head, a teacher of mine, a voice teacher of mine in particular, I could just hear her very lovingly chewing me out for sitting, because according to her, no matter what you do voiceover for, whether it's a car commercial, I don't know, ASMR, a narration, characters, no matter what you're recording, she emphasizes you always need to be standing to get the full energy, the full voice, whatever. And like, I'd like to think I can cheat a little bit, but I listen back and I'm like, ooh, I could tell that I was sitting, so in light of that, I did find out a nice way to set up so that I can stand while I read. It was actually a lot easier than I initially thought it would take. It was very little reconfiguration I had to take. So I will be standing, and I hope that gives a better read for this read around. All right, so we're picking up. Last we saw our protagonist lost a car. Looks like they're not getting it back, although I'm very curious to see if it mysteriously comes back. And it looks like our protagonist just found part of this elusive treasure that was dubious at first. It looks like there might be some truth to it. So we're picking up. A thunderous banging wakes me from a dead sleep, rattling the entire motorhome.
You two are in there. You thieves better not still be sleeping.
The muffled shout leaks in from outside, followed by another voice.
Sis, it's not even 7. Can I go back to bed?
And another voice.
You're better off just rolling with it. For her, it may as well be noon.
Open up, or I swear Joe's gonna bust down the store.
Wait, what?
Gee, I wonder who this could be. I roll out of bed and open the slider connecting to the other rooms. Marina is sitting pressed up against the back of the fold-out bed with the sheets over her head.
Who do you think it is?
Take a wild guess.
I march over and throw open the door. As expected, my 3 favorite people stand before me.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how long we've been out here?
A groggy Tess sways from side to side. Joseph's gentle hands are the only thing preventing her from passing out on the ground.
It's funny that you, of all people, would accuse us of theft.
What else would you call what happened to my equipment?
I don't know. Borrowing? You loaned it to us, remember?
Correction. Joe loaned it to you.
I like Joe. Joseph gives a tired smirk and a wave.
I was forced to sit idly by and watch you make off with it. That's theft if I ever seen it.
She pushes me aside and clambers into the motorhome, followed by the other 2.
Looks like we're coming in.
Good morning.
Hey, you 3. Morning. How are you guys doing?
Tired. For what it's worth, we tried stopping her.
Mariah stomps to the middle of the motorhome, analyzing everything before releasing a loud scoff.
So where's my stuff?
If you don't get out of my RV in 5 seconds, it'll be shoved up your ass.
Don't worry about it. You guys are great. Hey, Tess. Did you hang up your new wind chime?
Tess's eyes flicker with interest for all of a second, then return to their obstinate, droopy state.
Uh-huh. Above my bed.
What's up with the fold-out? You 2 don't sleep together?
She sounds so judgmental. I don't know if she realizes we met like a day ago, but there's a lot of judgment and not sharing a bed. All right.
What?
Told ya.
Damn it.
Maybe they bet on it. Grumbling, oh, they did. He did. Grumbling, Mariah pulls a bill from her pocket and slaps it in Joe's hand.
Does that mean we get to sleep in tomorrow morning?
Sure does, kiddo. Sure does.
The ringleader of the circus turns to inspecting the motorhome, fiddling with the magnets on the fridge.
Anyway, give me back my equipment and we'll get out of your hair.
Come on, just let them use it. It's the least we can do after tearing apart her car.
Mariah's attention turns to the counter, topped with the opened can of stunning gold nuggets from the night before. Yeah, so as we left off in the last stream, they had just found some nuggets while hunting around.
And whose fault was that? What is this?
What is what?
The thing on the counter? It almost looks like...
Oh, that? That's the piece of the treasure we found.
Ha! Yeah, right! You're kidding.
She chuckles. She stops.
She's kidding, right?
I have a devious thought and crack an equally devious smile.
Nope. She's telling the truth. 100%.
I wrap my arm around Mariah and bring her close. Joseph and Tess shoot each other alarmed glances.
We found it last night. With your equipment.
She stands there, stupefied.
No! That's impossible. You're lying.
Really now? Hey, Marina, why don't you tell her about it?
Sure thing! It started yesterday after we met. Amber looked at the journal again and thought it might be near the smaller rocks behind the bigger one. They're called dikes, I think. Anyway, turns out she was right!
Mariah looks down, muttering to herself.
But how? Why wouldn't he just hide it on the mountain? It doesn't make sense. If he was going back to Missouri...
Her voice diminishes until her words are reduced to lip flaps. Like a mad scientist trying to figure out a complex equation, she retreats into her own little world.
Mariah?
A smidge of sympathy buds inside me. I look to Joseph and Tess. Even they look a little shocked.
Is she gonna be okay?
I honestly don't know.
Tess approaches Mariah, who is still whispering nonsense under her breath, nonchalantly. Tess hops in front of her, her hand reaching upwards, trying to wave it in front of Mariah and bring her back to our world. No response. Tess pulls Mariah's arms skyward, then allows them to flop down to her side. Still no response.
You know, we've been looking into that treasure since we were kids.
Joseph steps up to the counter and stares into the box.
Never expected someone else to find it before us.
That's more than I can say. I didn't even think it existed.
There's that too.
He sighs, then with a shrug, cracks a smile.
Well, good job anyway. You ladies seem cool, so if it couldn't be us, then at least it was you.
Oh, he's such a nice guy.
You guys want to stick around? We could tell you more about it.
He looks at Mariah.
Somehow, I don't think that would be healthy for her. Or you.
He grabs Mariah by the shoulders and begins pushing her towards the exit.
Come on, Mariah. Let's go make you a nice cold michelada. You two can keep the equipment. Think of it as an apology gift.
Because cheaply made tools I could get at any hardware store are of equal value to a car. They're almost out of the motorhome when Mariah flips and rushes back.
Hold on a minute, thief!
She looks me straight like this music, like some showdown. She looks me straight in the eyes, her expression returning to that of a piercing hawk.
You just had beginner's luck. You might have found the first piece, but I promise you, me and my team will find the rest.
She extends a hand and smirks. I pause for a moment, then grab it and offer a smirk of my own.
You're on.
Marina and Joseph both let out a sigh of relief, as if they've just witnessed the signing of a peace treaty.
Well, guess that takes care of that.
Now let's get out of here and go back to a proper base.
Are you going to drink until you feel better again, sis?
That's so... something kind of dark about that. I hope she doesn't drink too much.
Shut up! Didn't Mom ever teach you any manners?
You always said Mom is an airheaded ditz who wouldn't know good advice or a good man if it bit her on the butt.
Oh yeah.
Sorry for all the trouble, ladies. See you two down the road.
Joseph pulls the door closed. Marina and I stay put, as the bickering of the trio fades into the distance.
Were you serious?
About what?
The treasure. You told Mariah that you were gonna find the rest. If you were just being nice and want to leave now, that's fine too. You've already done a lot for me.
She casts her eyes downwards to hide her emotions, but I know better by now.
And let you keep all the treasure for yourself? Hell no.
Her eyes bounce back.
Besides, someone's got to keep you from getting yourself into trouble. May as well be me.
For real? But don't you have the festival to go to?
It's still a little while away. I wanted to do some sightseeing anyway.
Marina launches forward. Before I can sidestep, my God, she tackles me with the force of a gold-filled freight train. I don't even try to resist. It's futile in the grace of Marina's hugs.
Thank you, 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 thank you!
Actually, I probably owe you an apology.
She cocks her head and looks up at me. I look away, my bashful side taking over.
Well, you know, I kept saying it wasn't real and stuff.
Hey, don't worry about it. Most people wouldn't have given me the time of day.
Yeah, but...
Relax. Just figure out where we have to go next.
I smile. We walk to the front of the RV and take our seats. Grabbing the journal from the glove compartment, I flip it open. I glance over the second to last entry. Key phrases like split path, detour, and acres of identical arched stone throw my brain into the deep end, drowning me in dizzying puddles before I've even fully read it. Marina peeks over, trying to decipher the entries with me. A speck of inadequacy crawls up inside me, and I quickly flip to the next entry before Marina notices I'm stuck. I'll deal with that later. For now, we'll just narrow this down. Much has happened since... Oh, this is the journal. Much has happened since my last entry, so let me waste no time in beginning. I forgot what voice I used last time. I'm just gonna go at it. As I mentioned previously, I had begun to develop a cough of sorts during my travels. At the time, I thought nothing of it, just a result of being overexposed to the elements. After all, a handsomely rugged and worldly man such as myself should be used to such things, but I digress. Unfortunately, the more I continue under the blazing sun, the more my condition worsened, until finally my body gave out. The last thing I remember is falling off my steed. Sometime later, I awoke next to a fire, with my horse nearby. I myself could not move, as I was held down by illness and sweat, but I was reassured by a man sitting across from me. Upon further inspection, I realized he was a native of this land. I had several encounters with people of his sort during my time on the wagon trail, so naturally I was suspicious and fearful for the remainder of my gold. However, the man said he had no interest in such things. A dry, quiet fellow. The man told me his name was Lamasi, and that I was in a canyon his people occupied, although they had been driven to a different segment of it some years back. His English was quite fluent, and when I inquired, he said he had learned from settlers as a boy. Over the next several days, Lamasi would nurse me back to health. We would never stray too far, as he preferred looking after his estranged tribe from a distance, but I was able to explore portions of his home. Eventually, I stumbled upon a long, ruined home built into a cave on the side of the mountain. According to Lamasi, there were many more like it, though they originally belonged to enemies of his ancestors. It was then that I realized where I would leave the next portion of my bounty. On my last day with him, I informed Lamasi of my plans, where he casually promised to guard it for me until I return. But before I left, he pointed me in the direction of a sacred landmark, one so giant and huge it would simultaneously be a conspicuous and inconspicuous hiding place. With that knowledge, I bid farewell to my new friend and trusted the gold in his care. Perhaps I will reward him with some of it on the return trip.
You're my Lamesi, Amber.
God. So cheesy. Suddenly, my chest feels like a hummingbird is fluttering around in it. I shift my eyes away from her smile and hide my face.
Thanks.
When you strip away the circumstances, I guess I did save and protect her like that Lamasi guy did with the miner.
Gorge is like a canyon, right?
Marina leans in closer and points to the entry, strands of her soft hair tickling my cheek. I scoot back and power through it, taking a sharp breath to recollect myself.
Basically, yeah.
Marina nearly springs out of her seat in a burst of realization, her head an inch away from smacking into the ceiling.
Oh my god. Does that mean we get to go to the Grand Canyon? Do we get to go to the Grand Canyon, Amber?
Not unless history decides to rewrite itself. There are lots of canyons with ruins. One of them is the Grand Canyon, but most of them have been cleaned out for hundreds of years.
I choke down a groan. Indian ruins aren't exactly rarities around here. Maybe the other entry wasn't so bad after all.
So we're looking for a place that was still being used in the 1850s.
Marina hunkers down and thinks with me, wrinkles forming on her forehead as she tries to strain out the answer. I'm pretty sure she doesn't even know where to start, but hey, at least she's trying.
Well, there is one place.
Marina hardly gets a breath out before I crush her dreams once again.
Not the Grand Canyon.
She slinks back into her chair and quietly pouts.
It's still in Arizona, but it's a different place. Canyon de Chelly. The Navajo weren't chased out until 1863, so the timing isn't too screwy. Place is loaded with ruins, too.
Oh, are they Pueblo in ruins?
My flow of information stops. She knows what I'm talking about? She can actually pronounce it?
Yeah. I'm surprised you know that.
Yep, I've been reading some of those travel guides lying around. Super interesting.
Those things must be about as old as I am by now. I didn't have the heart to throw them away when I was cleaning everything out.
Hey, that's how I did it. It's the best way to learn. Anyway, Canyon de Chelly is pretty damn close to here.
She gasps.
So it might have lined up with the route he took.
Well, I can't be 100% positive, but...
Oops, I cut her off. I close my eyes and snap the book shut, the air between the pages puffing out at us. Then, with one eye open, shoot Marina a grin.
I'm pretty sure.
Arizona's highways are infamously boring. Nothing but hills, up, down, up, down. There's nothing interesting to look at. Both sides of the road are smothered in nondescript shrubs. Okay, I'm gonna go on a slight tangent here. Maybe when you're driving it gets boring. As a passenger, I particularly love the Arizona scenery. Like, I kind of like that there's this consistency. Like, yes, there's just lots of same plants, but I feel like the rock structures add variety. I personally find the scenery very relaxing, even meditative. But I guess if you're driving, it feels like you're just going nowhere for a long time. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's never been a passenger. I like being a sightseeing passenger. All right. It's the part of the country where you just zone out and drive on autopilot. When we finally see a sign for the town of Chinle, I believe, right next to the canyon, it feels like we're approaching the promised land. Marina looks up from the book she's reading, just in time to miss the sign.
Was that it? Are we there yet?
Nah, 40 miles to go still, so about half an hour.
She makes a sound like a popped balloon and goes back to reading. That facial expression matches the sound greatly. Like the popped balloon goes back to reading. We take an exit to a tiny excuse for a town. One of those places that has a gas station and a few old houses. It's like in Monopoly, where you buy up all the property you can, even though it's not that great.
This is it?
Marina repeats her earlier question as I slow down to turn left.
Nope. Almost. I don't even know what this place is called.
She makes the popped balloon sound, that popped balloon noise again, but leaves the book closed. When we finally reach Chinle, it's pretty obvious. This is the first real town we've seen in hours. The outskirts are industrial, dominated by what I assume are factories. A pair of stray dogs lope along the side of the road, hungry and lean. Marina makes a sound of sympathy, pressing her face against the glass as we pass them.
Hey, Amber.
We're not getting a dog.
But they're so cute. And we could dress them up in a bandana and...
No way. I've never gotten why people want to dress their pets up like people.
It's cute.
Marina pouts. I figured she was just joking, but she didn't actually think I would let her get a dog, right? It seems that all is forgiven by the time I pull into a gas station. She's bouncing in her seat with her usual enthusiasm. Or maybe it's her bladder. My second guess must have been correct, because as soon as I shut off the engine, she darts out of the RV and into the store. While she does that, I fuel up. No telling when we'll see the next gas station. Could be 100 miles. And this thing drinks gasoline like a thirsty dog drinks water. By the time I finish, Marina still isn't back, so I lock up and head inside. The store is devoid of other customers. It's unremarkable, with the usual selection of candy, chips, and overpriced beef jerky. I'm not hungry, just passing time. Soon Marina trots out of the bathroom, glancing around. She spots me and heads over.
Want anything?
Duh, let's see.
I leave her to agonize over the candy bars while I flip through some of the travel brochures beneath the window. There are a couple about Canyon de... I want to say Chelly, but that's not what she said. I forgot how she said it, but it looks like Chelly, which is our destination just up the road. There aren't flyers for other Arizona attractions too. There are flyers for other Arizona attractions too, including the non-local ones. Of course, there are a few brochures for the Grand Canyon, plus a couple must-see sites in Phoenix, the capital. There's even an ad for a novelty just called The Thing in Tucson, but that's far out of our way.
Okay, I'm ready.
I turn around. Marina has a couple king-sized candy bars in her hands and a large bottle of Coke tucked under her arm.
You seriously need all that?
I thought we could share.
Oh. She gives me her best offended puppy impression.
Fine, fine.
I still don't want anything, but I can't say no to that.
Here, I'm gonna use the bathroom too. Meet you at the car.
I place my wallet atop the pallet of candy she's carrying and send her towards the attendant. When I come back out of the bathroom, Marina's still talking to the clerk. There's a bag in her hands, so she must have already finished paying, and why is my phone ringing? Alright, hopefully you guys didn't hear that. There's a bag in her hands, so she must have already finished paying and gotten distracted talking. I joined the two of them.
Closed off, so only the guided tours are open right now.
Marina looks like she's seen a ghost.
What's up?
I take my wallet from where it's just sitting forgotten on the counter.
I was just asking about the canyon and the tours and stuff.
The clerk nods.
Yup. I was saying how if you're here to sightsee, you might have some trouble. A lot of it's closed off because of all the kids coming and causing trouble looking for treasure.
Damn. I'm not surprised, but it's frustrating.
What isn't closed off?
Well, there are still some tours you can go on. Most of them, I think. But you can't do the self-guided ones.
Marina looks at me, eyes wide. Clearly, she's expecting some solution from me. I just smile at the attendant.
Got it. Thank you.
And leave a dumbstruck Marina out of the store. As I unlock the RV, Marina prances around me.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna take a nap.
She stops.
Huh?
I'm tired, so I'm going to nap for a little bit. I checked one of the pamphlets and there's a tour at 6:30, so we'll just join that and then sneak off.
Like, on our own?
Yeah.
Her eyes go wide again.
Amber, you're a genius!
I twist a lock of my hair around my finger and glance away. Her constant compliments are a little embarrassing, especially for stuff that seems obvious to me.
Thanks. It's not much of a plan, though.
Yeah, but at least it's a plan. I thought we were just gonna have to give up or something.
Nah. Rules are made to be broken and all that.
I feel a bit guilty that we'll be breaking rules specifically put in place because of people like us, but I can safely say that we'll be more careful than the average treasure hunter. Just picturing Mariah, I can easily see her smashing down ancient ruins in her search.
But yeah, wake me up at 5:30. Unless you're going to nap too.
Nope, I'm not tired anymore, so I'll just read some more.
Alright. Good night.
Night-night!
I leave her up in the front as I head back to my bed and fall into it. After bunching up my blankets around me, it doesn't take long to fall asleep. I wake up slowly, fighting to keep my eyes open. In the back of my head, I feel like something is wrong. It takes a minute before I realize I've overslept. It's 5:45. Marina was supposed to wake me up 15 minutes ago.
Marina?
I call her name, but I get no response. Rolling out of bed, I massage my eyes and stumble up towards the front. Of course she's asleep, sprawled out on the dash with her head buried in her arms. Looks like she's been out for a while. Jerking her by the shoulders, I shake her awake.
What's up, Amber?
Her speech is slurred by sleepiness. I ignore the temptation to make the not you joke.
How's that book you're reading?
It's great. I just put it down to...
A look of shock spreads across her face. Mounting horror takes over as she realizes the time.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. I was just gonna nap, but then I forgot to set an alarm. I mean, to wake me up.
Yeah, that's what alarms are for.
Freaking out, she hurriedly tries to buckle her seatbelt, failing several times in her frenzy. I pat her on the shoulder as I sit down. It's not even a big deal, but she's so worked up.
It's cool. We're not late yet. Ready to go?
Marina just nods, staring at the floor. I buckle up and turn the key. The engine roars to life and I throw it in reverse. I have to crane my neck to make sure I don't run over anyone. Road signs direct us out of town and towards the canyon. After spending so long on the highway, going down these streets with lower speed our speed limits feels restrictive. From the corner of my eye, I watch Marina. She's being abnormally quiet. She fixes her hair, pops her knuckles, and rubs her shoulders, but she doesn't say anything. Finally, I cave.
What's wrong with you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Her tone of voice is stressed. Maybe I'm more intimidating than I think.
You're being weird. Super quiet.
Oh, I didn't know if you were mad at me or not.
Oh.
What, for falling asleep?
She nods.
Nah, I'm not mad. Trust me, you'd know for sure if I was. I told you it wasn't a big deal, didn't I?
You promise?
Yeah, I promise.
Marina bounces in her seat, immediately cheerier.
Okay, cool. 'Cause, like, if you were mad at me already, that would be a bad sign.
Sign of what?
That we wouldn't be good partners. You know, treasure hunting buddies.
Oh, we're partners now, are we? You're the sidekick, right?
No way. I'm totally the main character. We're here because of me.
I laugh, causing her to turn away smiling. She's a lot cuter when she smiles. I've been smiling more too, I realize, as I think that it starts to make me sad again. Do I really deserve to be smiling right now?
Hey, Amber?
Huh.
Like she read my mind, Marina snaps me out of it.
Can we listen to Super Crush again?
You seriously like that one?
Super Crush was one of those groups that Gramps loved to show off to other people because they were so weird. All of the members played a different instrument on each album, so it was like a whole other band every time.
Yeah, it was different, but in a good way.
That's definitely true.
With one hand on the steering wheel, I dig around in the bin of tapes by my feet. I flick my gaze between that and the road. Eventually, I find the one I'm looking for. It has a Halloween orange case with text that looks like it's slime. Okay, cool. My computer hiccuped, but hopefully you got that last line. Marina's humming along. I crank the volume up, earning a grin from Marina. The sound is tiny and distorted at this level. More distorted than usual, I mean, but it's also more fun. Our smiles last all the way until we roll into a nearly empty parking lot. As I turn the volume back down, I can tell she's thinking the same thing I am.
Amber?
Yeah?
Shouldn't there be, like, other people waiting here?
There probably should. What time is it?
Marina twists around to check.
6:20?
What the hell? Did they start early?
There are other cars around, but they're all unoccupied. My parking job is hasty, and I take up 2 spaces, but don't bother to correct it. We hurry out of the RV. I almost forget the key in the ignition and have to double back to grab it. Marina's already over at an information desk, probably talking to a ranger. But then she turns back to me, the despair on her face visible even though it's getting dark.
There's no one here!
There aren't any lights on inside either. Probably closed at 6. I vaguely recall reading that in a brochure, but I thought there would still be someone around for the tours.
Don't panic!
I jog back to the RV and unlock it again. Rummaging through the glove box, I pull out the little blue flashlight that Gramps gave me a few years ago. I click it on and off a couple times to make sure that it works. After I lock everything back up again, I join Marina by the unhelpful help desk. She's bouncing on her heels, hands clasped together.
Hey, it's alright. Worst comes to worst, we'll just do it tomorrow.
But what if someone else finds the treasure tonight?
I don't have an answer for that one.
Guess we'll just have to catch up then, huh?
Turning on the flashlight, I swing the beam around. While there's still some daylight left, it isn't much. Maybe half an hour at the most.
Catch up to what?
The tour group's silly. Even if we're late, they can't have left that long ago. And they'll be stopping a bunch, so we should be able to find them easily.
By ourselves?
Her voice is almost a squawk, like a surprised parrot.
Well, yeah. I don't see anyone else around. Do you?
I swivel around, illuminating nothing but rocks and bushes.
Come on, it'll be fine. It's not like there are going to be bears or mountain lions this close to a parking lot.
Don't jinx it.
Those kinds of things live here?
If she didn't know that, then what is she afraid of?
Probably. I don't know. But come on, we're wasting time.
Marina whimpers. Then, surprising me, she grabs my hand. Hers is sweaty and warm. I turn and look at her and meet her wide eyes. Looks like she might cry and makes me regret being so pushy.
We don't have to do it if you don't want to.
She shakes her head but clings to me like a kid, her free hand buried in my clothes. If it were any brighter out, she'd see my face turn red.
No. Like I said, if we don't go now, someone else will beat us to it. Just stay close, okay?
Yeah, of course.
She lets me lead, but doesn't let go of my hand. A large wooden sign marks the start of the trail.
So, are you scared of the dark?
No answer.
But you were fine at Shiprock.
That was different.
Marina's arm jerks, but she doesn't let go.
That was in a town. With people. And roads. And no mountain lions.
The temptation to tease her more is strong, but I don't. Every time a bird caws or something makes the brush shake, I feel her flinch a little. Somehow, even this side of her is cute too. A little childish, sure, but it's nice to have her rely on me to keep her safe. To take her mind off things, I make small talk.
So, what are you gonna do once you're filthy rich from the treasure?
Sorry, what?
I asked what you'll do with your share of the treasure.
Oh, I'm not sure yet. I haven't thought about it.
We're out here looking, and you don't even have a plan for it?
It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. What about you, huh?
I don't know either.
Ha! See, I'm not.
Yeah, but I wasn't planning on looking for it, you know? I haven't spent as much time thinking about it.
I glance behind me to see Marina stick out her tongue. I laugh.
But, let's see. I definitely need to pay off Gramps' hospital and funeral expenses. After that, I guess I should probably get the motorhome fixed up. It's not gonna break down on us or anything, but it's kind of old.
Why not just buy a new one?
Hell no!
My response comes out snappier than I intended, rather.
It's just that it has sentimental value, you know? I'd rather keep that than buy a newer, better car. I grew up in that thing. I could never just replace it. After that, I'd probably just keep doing what I was doing before I met you.
And what's that?
Wandering.
Don't you want to stop wandering sometime?
My steps slow a bit. It's an innocent question, but it hits me hard.
Not yet, no.
I whisper it. Marina catches up next to me, dropping my hand as she does so.
At least I'm not the only one without a goal.
I poke her in the side and she squirms away a couple of feet.
No!
Torque.
It's hard to stay sad around her. As we turn around a curve in the road, the tour group comes into view. Just ahead is a cluster of people, most of them armed with flashlights. It's hard to know for sure, but I can see at least a dozen different figures. The tour guide is shining his light up at a rock face, illuminating some designs on it. Everyone has their backs to us.
Try to be as sneaky as possible. We want to join up without them noticing, like we've been there the whole time. If anyone notices us show up, they might notice when we leave.
Why do we have to join up in the first place?
I don't know how to get to the ruins we're looking for. We'll stay.
Oh no! Why did I do that? Let's go.
I don't know how to get to the ruins we're looking for. We'll stay with the group until the tour gets there, and then we'll sneak off.
Marina nods.
Okay, follow my lead. And remember, be as quiet as you can.
We creep forward slowly. If someone were to turn around and see us, we'd look pretty suspicious. But nobody does. The lecture on petroglyphs gets their full attention. Marina kicks a rock and I tense up, expecting that to break the spell. But we're close enough now that if it did, it might not matter. And we reach the back of the tour group without anyone noticing. I give Marina a thumbs up, which she returns.
Right, you can see the Anasazi ruins. Some of the Navajo people still call the area home. There's a living community in the canyon who...
I'm not too interested in hearing about the history of the place, so I turn back to Marina. She's looking up at the pictures too, though her eyes appear glazed over. When she catches me staring, she blinks and then smiles. I smile back, though I must look like an idiot just watching her instead of the lecture. After a minute, the guide's speech concludes and we start to walk down the trail. Much to my dismay, before I can say anything to Marina, the woman in front of us turns around.
Isn't that just crazy?
Huh?
It takes a second for me to understand that she's talking to me. She fits just about every stereotype of redneck, from the huge hat on her head to the baby strapped to her chest. It's a really happy, cute baby. She'd probably be attractive if not for the layers of sunscreen coating her face. Even though it's nearly nighttime, they make her look like a ghost.
I said, isn't that just crazy? What he was saying about those Indians and how they used to communicate with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I had wanted to talk to her, I still have no idea what the guide had said.
They were just so darn clever. Really makes you wonder how they all ended up dying out, huh?
Big oof. Okay.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them are still alive. And like, some of them live here? In this canyon?
I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, I could see a foreigner maybe not realizing that, but I don't know. I don't think this lady's a foreigner. I had heard that much at least, but apparently not everyone did. For a second, the woman looks up at me like I'm crazy, but then she bursts up laughing.
Sorry, you're absolutely right. I was thinking of them Aztecs down in Mexico.
Her laugh is more like a bray. She sounds like a farm animal. In my head, I keep hoping she'll turn back around and leave us alone. But we're not so lucky. She keeps on chatting us up as we follow the trail. I'm self-conscious about how noisy she's being compared to the low noise level of the others.
Say, is that where the name Texas comes from? From Aztec?
Before I can answer, she started shouting at someone else.
Howard! Hey, Howard, come over here!
By now, nearly everyone is looking at us.
Ma'am, can you please keep your voice down?
Oops, sorry.
She apologizes, loudly. So much for staying inconspicuous. Howard makes his way over. He looks rather defeated, face drooping and shoulders sagging. I figure he's the woman's husband.
Yes, dear.
I was just talking to this girl here about history, and I was wondering, does the name Texas have anything to do with the Aztecs? Since the words sound kind of similar?
I don't think so.
Huh, go figure.
She cackles again. Beside her, Howard sighs. For his sake, I hope her family is loaded or something. Every time she laughs, the baby on her chest bounces, but the lucky kid sleeps right through it all. Maybe he's used to this.
Anyway, I must have left my manners back in Wisconsin. My name's Linda, and this is my husband, Howard. This little chimp right here
She thrust herself and thus the baby towards me.
is Dino. Ain't that just the cutest name?
I just grunt in response. I'm trying to see around her, up to where the guide is alternating between shooting Linda death glares and trying to narrate the walk. If he said anything useful about the canyon in the past couple minutes, I've missed it entirely. Glancing over at Marina, who has pulled away a couple feet, it looks like she's enjoying my torture and struggling silence. Tears have formed at the corners of her eyes, glittering in the dying light. They're the good kind of tears, the kind from laughing too much. Her hand is smushed over her mouth and she's shaking with the effort of staying silent. There's no way I can let her get away with that, especially since I need to get closer to the front for now. I grab her arm and tug her over into Linda's line of sight.
I'm Jane.
The enthusiasm in my voice is so forced.
And this is my friend Lacey.
I use fake names just to be safe. Marina limply shakes Linda's hand, which has grabbed hers. The mirth has vanished from Marina's face. Good.
Nice to meet you.
Linda pumps her arm like a guillotine, grinning broadly and yet still managing to walk.
It's so good to see young people taking an interest in nature and history and all that. Are y'all from around here? We're originally from Tennessee, see, but moved to Wisconsin and...
Having been properly introduced, I leave Marina to suffer through the family history. I shift away and walk ahead, passing by most of the tour group so that I can better hear the guide. For a while, he talks about the wildlife and history of the park. After a couple minutes, though, the lessons become more relevant.
We'll be coming up on the Mummy Cave ruins here in just a little bit. That's one of the better-known sites in the canyon. 700 years ago, it was a bustling Poblonian village. We can't get too close to the ruins, so unfortunately it might be a little too late to really see them clearly tonight. While the Mummy Cave itself hasn't ever been open to the public.
That's all I needed to know, so I start to slip back towards Marina. It looks like she's still being held hostage by tales of Wisconsin family adventures. Linda notices me approaching.
Oh, Jane, there you are. I was just telling Lacey about one of the cows I helped birth when I was younger.
I'm not sure how the conversation went from introductions to cow birth in such a short span of time, but I'm not curious enough to ask. When I rejoin Marina, she mouths two words.
Save me!
I don't know how to get out of this one. Annoyance aside, it'll be impossible to slip away with Linda's attention on us. Different words, with Linda's attention on us. But it seems we're in luck. As we go around another bend in the road, something more interesting than Marina and me comes into view.
Oh, Howard, look! This is it. This is one of those mummy ruins I was telling you about.
Linda elbows forward, moving ahead of us.
You girls make sure you get a good spot. You're gonna want to see this, even if it's dark out.
She forges ahead, her husband trailing dutifully. As he passes, I think I hear him say sorry, though I'm not certain. Once they're out of earshot, Marina makes a sound like a train letting out steam.
Oh my god. I thought I was gonna explode.
Saw you laughing and figured
I thought she was just saying, oh my god, and I cut her off.
Oh my god. I thought I was gonna explode. My ears or my head or my brain or something.
Saw you laughing and figured it wasn't fair if I was the only one who suffered.
I'd take it all back if I could. Seriously though, first she was talking about herself, then about her kid, then about her childhood, and then she started talking about growing up on a farm. Somehow she ended up going on about cows having babies and how messy it all is. I don't even know.
What, you're not interested in that stuff?
Ew, no! Gross, gross, gross!
She wrinkles up her face as she says it. I giggle, but then turn serious real fast. Okay, this of course, right at the line where she's like, I get serious, is right where I want to go on a tangent. I just want to mention both sides of my family, coincidentally, like extended family, like grandparents, great-grandparents, on both sides happen to come from farms. And I enjoy like gardening and such. Maybe I get it from them. I just want to mention a manga that I've been reading to anyone who might be interested, even though it's not related to the main story. But the manga is called Silver Spoon, and fun fact, it's by the same author as Full Metal Alchemist, and it's completely different. It's about a kid who kind of is like trying to find what he wants to do in life and goes to an agriculture school, which kind of focuses on cows and livestock. And I really enjoyed it, like having family come from farms. Some of it, I'm like, oh, I remember hearing about that. But like seeing the kind of modern look at the farming industry, I found it really interesting. And it's really thought-provoking too, like how people work with animals, but like eat animals, and this kind of like the mentality that you develop, like this like really intense respect on these animals that your livelihood is based on, whether it's nutritional or like you're the farmer benefiting from the animal. Like I think it creates a really cool mentality of like just this really high level of respect and like codependence among the animals. So anyhow, hearing about baby cows being birthed reminds me of that. I really enjoy the manga series. It's called Silver Spoon. If anyone is interested on this cow tangent, it made me think of that, and I really enjoy the series. Okay, let's backtrack so we can get back on track to the story. Let's go back one more line.
You know, gross, gross, gross.
Alright, Marina's not as fascinated as I am, but okay. She wrinkles up her face as she says it. I giggle, but then turn serious real fast.
Okay, but listen. Because it's dark, the group probably isn't gonna stop to look at the Mummy Cave ruins for very long. So we'll have to wait until we can sneak away again, and then go over there ourselves.
Just taking water.
How far away are they?
No idea. I can't see from here. Just follow my lead again.
Got it.
We've been at the very back of the group the entire time. The people right in front of us are much less interested in us than Linda was, so I don't think anyone will notice if we go missing. When we reach a railing, the guide stops to point out the ruins. They're across a small valley, a couple 100 yards away. In the darkness, it's almost impossible to see them. They're just a dark smudge against the even darker backdrop of a mountain. Marina and I are a few yards away from the group, too. I pretend to inspect something on a rock, though there's nothing there. As the short speech ends and the guide starts to lead everyone on again, I dart behind a rock and crouch down. Marina quickly follows. I can see her start to say something, but I cut my hand over her mouth before she can get a word out. Silently, I shake my head. Marina nods twice, so I uncover her face. In my head, I count to 60. Once a minute has passed, I peel myself away from the rock and stand back up.
We should be safe now.
Marina's face lights up and she claps her hands. I notice that she's taken out the journal page with the hiding spot again.
That was so cool. It was like something out of a video game where you just sneak away right in front of everyone.
I guess so, but we still can't be noisy. They're not gonna be that far away. No flashlights either.
This close up, I can see her face fall at that.
Don't worry, I'll be right beside you.
Are we just gonna hop the fence and walk over there?
Unless you have any better ideas.
What if they catch us?
Then they'll throw us out.
We're not gonna get arrested for trespassing or anything, are we?
Nah, that'd be too much trouble for them.
I say that, although I don't actually know.
Okay.
The uncertainty in her voice is obvious. I grab the paper from her hands and stuff it into my pocket.
Let's go. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that they'll notice us missing.
I stroll over to the metal rail, hoping that I sound more confident than I am. Honestly, this is pretty risky and more than a little stupid. But it's also exciting. I duck down and underneath the rail. After a moment, Marina does the same. We're officially out of bounds. Across the small field, I can still just barely make out the shape of the ruins. They sit close to the mouth of a large cave that runs up the mountain like a scar.
Okay, come on.
There's an incline, but it's not too bad. Next to me, Marina spreads her arms out for balance, but I'm confident enough to not need to. Crossing over to the ruins themselves will be the riskiest part. There's no cover, and anyone who happens to look over will see us. We just have to hope that the tour group has moved to somewhere without a line of sight on us.
Okay, hurry.
I grab Marina's hand again and start to run. She struggles to keep up, so I slow down a little bit. It takes maybe 2 minutes from one end to the other. When we reach the far wall, Marina's breathing is strained.
Don't do much running, do you?
Not it. Oh.
Every word is punctuated with a pant. I'm winded too, but fight my lungs to not show it. I have to look strong for Marina.
Ready for the fun part?
Is it actually fun?
Not yet. We've still got to get up there.
I point to the lip of the cave, a good 50 feet or so above us still. Marina's face goes pale as she stares at the sheer rock wall in front of us.
We're not gonna have to climb that, are we?
How else?
I wait a second for the shock to hit her face before I laugh and shake my head.
Just kidding. Come over here.
A short distance away is a slope, somewhat steep but not too long. It leads up into part of the cave close to the ruins.
We actually do have to go up this one.
Her face still looks doubtful.
I don't know if I can get up that.
Sure you can. It's easy. Look.
I hike up a couple steps. Dirt and a bit of gravel tumble down past my feet, but it's mostly stable.
It's almost all dirt. If it was loose rock, we'd be in trouble.
Still looking uncertain, Marina takes a careful step up behind me, then another. She slides back down a little bit with each step.
Try to spread out your weight a little more evenly. You don't want to lose your balance and fall over.
By doing what I say, she's able to reach where I'm standing.
Good job. Now just do that like 50 more times.
Marina groans, but I've already started. I glance back behind me. She's trailing only a couple steps back. For all her worrying, she's doing okay. I'm just about to compliment her when I feel the earth shift beneath me and my foot slides loose. With a yelp, I lose my balance, arms flailing as I try not to fall. Then, faster than I can process, Marina's arms shoot out and grabs my sleeve. She tugs me back upright.
Are you okay? Oh my god, is your ankle alright? It's not broken, is it?
Panic is clearly painted across her face.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
The only thing injured is my pride.
Are you sure?
Yeah, thanks. Good save.
We climb up the rest of the way together, but slowly. At the top, both of us stretch and catch our breath.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
Besides the part where you almost died, maybe.
I didn't almost die. Besides, that's what I have my sidekick for.
She gives me a playful shove.
Hey, I told you, I'm not the sidekick here.
Uh-huh. You'll still have to earn the title of captain. Or commander. Whatever it is. And you can do that by finding this thing before I do.
Now that we're actually up in the ruins themselves, it's more clear just how tough this is going to be. The cave stretches a long way, like a deep scar in the mountain. Delicate clay buildings, some barely as tall as we are arranged throughout. They say this was a village, but it's hard to imagine anyone living here. Everything is so cramped and small.
Where do you think we should start?
Hard to say. It won't be anywhere obvious. Remember, people have been studying this place for decades.
What if someone already found it? Like a long time ago.
I shrug, but that's probably impossible to see. The sun has now gone entirely down, leaving us in shadowed darkness. I wonder why Marina doesn't seem bothered by it this time.
If they did, then I haven't heard anything about it. We've just gotta start looking. Try to be careful, though.
I feel bad being here. Maybe this was a bad idea.
Be super careful then. And watch for spiders!
I flick on the spare flashlight and pass it to her, just in time to see the look of disgust at the mention of spiders. We split up, staying close to each other, but not overlapping where we look. I get down on my hands and knees, shining light into every corner and cranny that I can. I worry that our lights might be visible from a distance, even though they aren't very powerful. The only alternative would be sneaking over in broad daylight, and we'd be much more likely to be caught then. Just random tangent, I remember reading this somewhere, maybe a few somewheres, that red light is very hard for the human eye to detect at night. So like if you have a red light right in front of you, you can like use it to read or look around. But from a distance, red light is very hard for the human eye to detect. So if they had like a little red filter on their lights, it would keep them safe from the tour group from seeing them, and they'd be able to decently see around their vicinity. But looks like they have just a typical flashlight, which usually isn't that sneaky, I guess. I feel like there's a better word than sneaky, but they have very noticeable regular flashlights. Alright. I'm not finding anything except dirt. I brush my fingers along the clay bricks in hopes of finding a loose stone or secret compartment, but there's nothing like that. Nearby, Marina's doing the same thing. She's hitched up her dress so that it doesn't drag on the ground, and I force myself to look away rather than stare. She offers quite a view, though. After a moment, Marina giggles. I'm not sure why. I haven't spoken at all because I don't want our voices to echo in the cave and give us away. But silently searching gets tedious fast, so I decide to try whispering.
What's so funny?
I don't know. Everything, I guess? I was just thinking how weird this is. Like, it's just so random, you know?
Alright, Aristotle.
Who's that?
Never mind. But yeah, it is kinda crazy.
Deciding that the building I was scouring is a lost cause, I move on to the next one.
I know it's probably not a big deal for you since you do this stuff all the time, but this is honestly the most fun I've ever had, I think.
Destroying ancient Native American landmarks?
I'm being careful. Super careful. But just in general, being out here on the road. I thought maybe I was making a mistake when I left, but not anymore.
I'm glad.
And I am. I really am.
Guess it worked out well for both of us.
I can't see her from here, but I know she's smiling. Then she giggles again.
Oh, Amber, you're a big ol' softie after all, aren't you?
I'm not. I take it back. I should have left you on the side of the road.
This time we both laughed. A laugh. After that, we lapsed back into near silence. Just the sound of us crawling around or occasionally moving to another building to search. Soon, the happy atmosphere starts to dissolve as we start getting frustrated. Or at least I do. It takes maybe 20 minutes before we've looked over all the buildings. There aren't too many, and combing over them isn't that hard. But we don't find anything. Not even a clue or a hint that we're in the right spot. Sighing through my nose, I start double-checking some of the larger homes. All the crawling and bending is starting to take a toll on me. When I straighten up, my back is... There we go. Okay. We should have brought some bottles of water with us. Yes, going in the middle of the desert sounds like a good idea. Bring in water. I lean against a rock wall and massage my shoulders. Marina finishes up a building, then joins me. She's biting her lip, frowning a little.
Any luck?
Nope, nothing. You?
We both pause, silent.
So... that's it, right? Like we've checked all the buildings?
Can't be. We must have missed something. I'm going to try checking out the cave itself.
She just stands there, watches as I head over to the far side. I shine my flashlight up and down and up again, examining every inch of the rock. There's gotta be a crevice where the gold is stashed, or some other hiding place. There has to be, but none of the cracks are wide enough or deep enough for something like that. A few minutes later, and I pass by Marina, still in the same place. I check her face as I go. Her eyebrows are furrowed, and she looks worried. I keep hunting. Images of Mariah triumphantly holding up the gold spur me on. Just the thought of her smug grin pisses me off. When I reach the other end of the cave, I double back and check it again. And again. Finally, Marina pulls away from the wall. I hear it, but don't see it.
Amber, come on. There's no way.
Her voice is a knife in my heart. It hurts because I know she's right. I sigh and flick off my flashlight. Standing there, I look at the invisible ground and have to admit the truth to myself. It's not here. There's no treasure to be found in the Mummy Cave ruins. Either we got it wrong, or someone beat us to it. Whichever the answer, there's nowhere else in here that it could be. I make my way back to Marina, slowly. I can feel stinging tears of frustration beginning to well up in my eyes, which surprises me. I'm sure Mariah would be laughing at me if she was here right now. Abruptly, I stop walking towards her and spin around. I don't want Marina to see. There's the sound of crunching dirt as she walks over.
Amber?
There's worry in her voice. I shake my head. I don't know if she can see. She lays her hand on my shoulder, and 2 tears manage to leak out of my eyes. I shake my head again.
Amber, it's okay.
No. I'm sorry. I screwed up. I was wrong. There's nothing here.
I know there isn't. Seriously, that's okay.
I sob, not even knowing why. Damn it. Damn it. Get a grip, Amber. I wrench my eyes shut before the waterworks really start. It burns, but I manage to hold back. Taking deep breaths, I get myself under control. I sink down to lean against the wall of the cave. Marina does the same. Our clothes are dusty from being on the ground so much. Marina pokes me in the side.
You okay?
I draw a rattly breath.
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry. I don't know what that was about. I just got super frustrated.
Yeah, I could tell.
Can it?
I flick her gently on the knee.
But, that was kind of embarrassing.
No, it's okay, really. I cry all the time at home. Don't worry.
It's just... it's like losing. Not finding the treasure, I mean. So I'm mad for wasting all our time on this. Aren't you?
No, why would I be?
She sounds genuinely surprised.
Because now we're behind on the next one, too. What if someone beats us to all the rest of them?
Now you sound like me.
Oh god, is there a cure?
Meanie. But really, I had fun, so I don't think it was a waste of time. Even if we're not, like, super rich now, I'm glad we came here.
Once again, I don't even have to look to know she's smiling. She's always smiling, after all. It's one of the cuter things about her. and there are lots of those. But I'm afraid to look up and meet her eyes. Afraid because of what I've been starting to feel lately, and how I've been thinking of her. It's stupid to get bothered by this now, I know, but there's not a but there. God, we've been together all day. But right now, when I'm already being over-emotional, I feel like it would be a bad idea.
Amber?
And then, by reflex, I do it anyway. I look over, and I was right. My heart flutters a little, but the smile I was anticipating has been replaced by yet another look of concern.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it wasn't so bad.
She brightens up immediately.
For real?
Mm-hmm. I'm good now. Still, sorry for freaking out there for a sec.
It's okay. Don't feel bad.
Groaning, I stand up again. I'm definitely going to be sore tomorrow.
We should get out of here, though. The longer we spend, the more likely we are to get caught.
It's been probably 45 minutes or so since we ditched the tour group. Hopefully they didn't get search and rescue out looking for us. I offer my hand to Marina, who's still sitting on the ground. She takes it, and I haul her to her feet. After dusting herself off, we both walk to the edge of the cave. It's impossible to see anything. Even the trail across the way is invisible from here.
Watch your step going down the hill.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to almost die again.
Going down the hill is easier than going up, though we still have to be careful. We make it to the bottom without incident. Alright, since there's a soundtrack, I was telling myself I'll wait till the soundtrack comes back before I grab water. I'm gonna grab water. No! That's not what I was trying to grab. I wanted to grab me. There we go. I don't know, just feels appropriate when I'm grabbing water to not be on screen. I will be back in maybe not even a minute, but my throat is very dry from talking a lot today. Alright. I was basically talking all day before this, and now I'm talking a lot more, so my throat's a bit dry. I feel like the cold makes it feel even drier. We're still at the tail end of winter right now. Alright. And continue. Going down the hill is easier than going up, though we still have to be careful. We make it to the bottom without incident. We don't risk the flashlights until we're back across the fence and on the trail. Now that we're not out of bounds, it doesn't matter if people see us.
Where do we go now?
I think about it for a moment. There's not much point in catching up with the tour again. Besides, it's probably ended by now. Still, if they did notice that we disappeared, then it could be bad for us to just leave the park. The last thing I want to see is our face on missing person posters the next time we stop at a gas station. But they've got a 45-minute lead on us, and that'll only grow if we were to try to find them.
We'll just go back to the parking lot and get out of here. If anyone asks, we can just say we left early.
Thank God. I was hoping you'd say that.
How come?
I'm so tired.
Same. My back's gonna hurt for a year.
At least you have the comfy bed.
Oh.
Hey, you could always... grab some more pillows from the closet if you need.
There are more?
Oh yeah. Gramps liked to have a zillion pillows when he slept.
Oh.
She sounds let down. Oh, oops. Maybe I shouldn't have made that connection there.
Don't worry. They weren't like his special pillows or anything. You can use them.
Wow. I feel like my pipes are so loud right now. I don't know if it's being picked up, but we're just gonna power through. The pipes will go away in a second.
All right.
Damn, she really starts to worry when I mention him. Guess there's a good reason for that. For right now, though the thought is a familiar jab of sadness, I'm not about to break down. I'm doing okay for now. We're quiet the rest of the way down the trail, though. Without having to stick to the slow pace of a guided tour, it's actually a quick walk. There aren't any other hikers out, which surprises me. It's dark, but not that late. As we reach the parking lot, it seems like we had perfect timing, or maybe perfectly awful. Spilling out of a trailhead on the other side is the tour group that we were briefly part of. I recognize the tour guide, as well as...
Oh, there you girls are.
Linda. She came from my blind spot before we had time to hide. I don't even try to force a smile as I turn to face her. She strolls up to us. Dino still asleep. Howard's nowhere to be seen, though. Maybe he's in their car.
I was hoping to see y'all before you left.
Yeah, we were pretty tired, so we came back early.
Oh, I'll bet you are.
She winks at me like she's in on the joke. Problem is, I don't know what the joke's supposed to be.
What do you mean?
Don't think I didn't notice you two running off now. Figured you were, you know.
She laughs and shakes her head.
I think that's good, though. Reminds me of me and my Howard when we were younger. We used to sneak off every chance we got, if you know what I mean.
That's cute. My face starts to turn red as I realize what she's thinking. Marina's probably tomato-colored, though I don't turn to look.
We weren't... I mean, we're not.
No need to be embarrassed or anything like that. And besides, at least you won't get pregnant.
She laughs heartily, the baby on her chest bouncing with emotion.
Sorry, though. I'm getting to be a bit too nosy for my own good. Y'all girls be safe out there. It was nice to get to know you.
She grabs my hand from my side and pumps it in a vigorous handshake, then does the same to Marina. Neither of us react, still dumbfounded. Then she heads off towards the sea of cars. More of a puddle now, since most have already left. I turn to Marina. As expected, her face is scarlet.
Wow.
Right? That poor baby. And that poor husband.
I didn't think people like that were real. Like, they only existed in books and movies and stuff.
They say the desert does weird things to your head. Or maybe Wisconsin does.
I shrug and start walking back towards the RV. I'm glad that Marina doesn't push the topic of Linda's misconception. I unlock the door and let Marina in first. We're one of the last ones here. Before I pull the door shut, I take a final look around Canyon de Chie. I forgot how she said it because it doesn't look the way it's spelled. Or what little of it I can see. It may have been a bust, but like Marina said, it wasn't a total waste of time. Inside the RV once again, I crash down into the driver's seat and kick my feet up on the dash. It's a relief to sit on something soft. Like a satellite, Marina hovers around me, expectant.
So that was a failure, obviously.
Do you think it might be in a different part of the canyon?
Maybe, but we're not gonna find out. We could spend days out here and not find anything. Most likely, someone else found it before us. Maybe even before this whole treasure hunt thing started.
She stares at the ground, then perks back up.
That's okay, though. All we can do is move on.
Reaching into the glove compartment, she brings out the journal and hands it to me.
Come on, show me why the human travel guide is the best.
I look at her for a moment, then with a smile, gently take it from her.
Sure thing. But that's the first and only time you're ever gonna call me that, okay?
Okay.
I flipped through the journal and skimmed the pages. I skipped one of the entries last time because it looked like a jumbled puzzle, but if we're going to find the rest of the treasure, then we need to tackle this head on. Bracing myself for the confusion, I find the entry and groan. I write to you today from my dear Lamasi's winged landmark, but from a destination on an unforeseen detour. During my journey eastbound, I encountered a split within the dusted road. I have encountered many of these on my travels, but this one's triggered a thought. Then that maybe, perhaps, I have been too obvious with my hiding. Let us assume a jealous peer wanted to track me. Paranoia or not, if they so desired, they easily could. My steed's prints are set within the sand, and I have not disguised my livelihood. In fact, one may call these a trail. If one were to follow this trail, they may even happen upon my bounty. The likelihood of this is very slim. However, I've always considered myself to be a man who only takes calculated risks, which is why I am shocked in that this thought has never crossed my mind before. Surely an intelligent, rugged, and worldly individual such as myself would have come to this conclusion by now. Or perhaps I am none of those things. Nonetheless, I marked the split and took the path I felt was less traveled. After I had covered enough distance, I found a satisfactory location. Acres of identical arched stone were spread across this area. The more I traveled, the more there were. On occasion, I had seen some, but never so close together, nor so plentiful. Though I do worry one could narrow down the gold if they had the will. Alas, the remnants of my illness reappeared, forcing me to find a resting site. Eventually, I settled between two stones. Unlike the arched stone, I often feared they would fall or collapse on me, but their balance seemed steady, and they provided shade and scenery. So once again, I am rested and determined. While this detour took precious time away from me, I very much feel it was worth the security it provides, even if it was unnecessary. P.S. This morning I looked in my pouch. It would appear as if I have enough gold for one last burial. Lamasi's landmark seems more than proper for this.
Oh no.
Are you talking about the arches? If he's talking about the arches at the Great Arches National Park, I believe is the title. So some of those arches do collapse over time. I remember visiting that park, and if I remember correctly, on one of the main trails, there are pictures of arches before they collapsed. It is very rare. They are very sturdy. Like, arches in general are just a nice, sturdy shape. But they do collapse on occasion. They do weather away over time. Alright, I was getting water. Let's go.
Oh no. Does that mean you don't know where it's at?
The opposite. I know exactly where it's at.
Then what's the problem?
I lean back in the chair and look at the ceiling.
It's in Arches National Park.
Okay, Arches. Maybe sometimes it's called Great Arches National Park, but... Okay, we also have Arches. Arches National Park next. Okay, OBS. That is the third time. Why? Let's just let them speak again.
Arches has over 2,000 natural stone arches. The miner said he hid it between two stones.
She blinks. I sigh.
An arch is a rock formation that curves in the air. Think of it as an upside-down U.
Finally, she gets the message. Her face morphs into a blank canvas, and she stares out the windshield.
Oh no.
Yeah. If we want to find this thing, then we need to look between every single arch and arches.
After a moment of petrified silence, Marina takes back the journal and returns it to its proper place in the glove compartment. With a shaky smile, Marina looks back at me and tries blowing it off.
Arches National Park, huh? It's somewhere in Moab, right? You ever been?
With a shaky grin of my own, I respond, totally ignoring the impossible feat ahead of us.
Yeah, I went to Moab a long time ago. Arches is really famous. Like, world famous.
We're both sweating, staring at the long road ahead as we try our best to make casual conversation. It's like a game of chicken. Who's going to break first?
I've always wanted to go.
Where have you vacationed to before?
Honestly, nowhere. Not out of the state, at least.
For real? Not even to visit family?
Nuh-uh. My grandparents live in New Mexico, too. I think only my big brother has been outside.
Just gonna replay this line. Alright, OBS, why? I didn't do anything different this time. It has been really windy today, so according to my computer, this is the 4th time OBS has had to reconnect. I don't know why, but it has been very windy today. I actually wouldn't be surprised if that's messed with some wiring outside or in the neighborhood. Alright, I forgive you. I'm gonna blame it on the wind. We're gonna do this line again.
There's 9 of us. I've got 2 younger brothers, 3 older brothers, an older sister, and 2 little sisters.
I whistle.
Damn, that's a big-ass Christmas card.
Right? At some point it's just like, aren't you ever gonna stop? I'm almost out of fingers to count on.
Chuckling, I stand up and walk to the back. Marina follows behind me.
What about you? Do you have any siblings?
Nah, just me. Otherwise, they'd probably be riding around this old thing with us.
As I say that, I collapse down onto my bed, sprawling out. Sitting up front felt good, but this is heavenly. The bed sinks a little as she takes a seat on its edge.
I can't really imagine having a single brother or sister. Definitely not 8 of them. But I guess they don't all live at home.
Actually,
You're kidding.
only one of my brothers has moved out. It's the worst. Like, you have to make a reservation to take a shower.
No wonder you ran away.
Pretty much. As soon as I finished school, I was just like, okay, time to get out of here.
Alright, tangent time. Just want to share. Like, my family's not nearly as big as hers, but I have a decently large family. I remember one time growing up, we were like, I forgot what happened. There was like one bathroom where for like a couple of years was just out of commission. I think it just needed like major remodeling, so we just stopped using it for a while. So we had one shower basically among the entire family. And I can sympathize with the whole feeling like you have to reserve the shower or like announce to the family like, I'm next, I'm going after dad. But then what's frustrating is someone takes a long shower, and especially in the wintertime, like all the hot water's practically gone. Like if you want at least a warm shower, you need to wait like a good 10-15 minutes for some warm water to come back from the water heater. I can just imagine how rough that would be with her family, which seems much bigger, potentially in a very small quarter, potentially a smallish house, I'm not sure. I'm gonna backtrack because I
No wonder you ran away.
sidetracked a little.
Pretty much. As soon as I finished school, I was just like, okay, time to get out of here.
How long ago was that?
Just a couple months. 2-ish.
What'd you major in?
Huh?
Like, what'd you get your degree in?
Oh, not college. High school. I just finished high school.
Huh.
Using my elbows, I prop myself up.
What?
How old are you?
Putting her hands to her hips, Marina puffs out her cheeks and looks offended.
I'll have you know, it's very rude to ask a lady her age.
She deflates.
But I'm 18. Why?
Oh, thank God.
I let myself fall back again.
I was afraid you were gonna be underage and that I'd get arrested for kidnapping or something.
No way! And besides, I told you my parents were fine with it. Well, accepted it. What about you? How old are you?
Just a year older.
Oh, I totally thought Amber had graduated college. Interesting.
Wait, you're only 19?
Now it's her turn to be shocked.
How old did you think I was?
I could have sworn Amber implied she had gone to college. I totally thought she was like at least 4 or 5 years older. All right. Marina burst up laughing. I'm actually a little embarrassed. I look away, blowing my hair away from my face.
Just kidding, just kidding. I figured you were like my age or a bit older. 2 years at the most.
Interesting. I feel like Amber just emotionally seems so much more mature. I thought for sure Amber was at least a few years older because of that maturity. That could just be personality. I don't look at her, staring at the wall.
Oh, come on, don't be mad. I was just playing.
All of a sudden, she sounds seriously regretful. I want to mess with her, but the puppy dog look she gives me over her shoulder is too hard to resist.
Sorry, what? My hearing must be getting bad at my old age.
She throws a pillow at me from the bed beside her, and I deflect it with my arm.
Good save, Granny.
Now she leans back too, staring up at the ceiling. Her hair spreads across my leg. I don't move it. Then I realize that all the worry and nervousness, of course, I thought someone was coming to my door. One. Alrighty, so I was thinking I should have ended a little while ago just because I have stuff happening this evening. But I'm like, no, nothing's gonna happen until the thing that happens later this evening. There's not gonna be anything in between now and that. That wasn't right. That wasn't true. Sometimes something's planned and you're like, oh, that's the only thing happening today. But no, other things happen too. So anyhow, I think this is a cute spot to end. They kind of find out they're closer in age with each other. They're kind of bonding over being in the same stage of life. So I think this is a nice, cute spot to end. So, save. Save. Are you sure you want to overwrite? Yep. All right, cool. And last time I discovered there's... No, go back. Go back. Title... Yep. Okay, last time I discovered in extras, like things you find in the game, legacy content? Galleries, I think. Nope. There's a thing where like Marina comments on things you find in the game, which I thought was really cute. Is this it? I'll find it eventually. Music room? Oh my god, where was it? Dude, there's a thing. I'll find it next time. There's like this thing where Marina comments on items throughout the game. We'll start with that next time before getting into the story. I pushed myself to go a little further than I thought I would, so I did cover more than I intended. That's kind of nice, but I will have to end now. So we'll pick up with Marina's comments before continuing the story next time. And I will end on this screen because it's a pretty scene to end on. A nice Arizona desert. It's a very, very scenic desert. I highly recommend visiting at some point the American Southwest deserts if you ever have the opportunity to. And alright, we'll